Welcome back to Julie's Jewels and the Road to Rio. Tonight we're talking about the taper. We've got 4 weekends until Rio Del Lago, and most runners will do their last long run about 3 weeks out and then go into a taper. So let's talk about what a taper is. A taper is a gradual reduction in training volume and intensity, particularly 2 to 4 weeks before an event. Here are some reasons why runners, including myself, don't like to taper. You fear that you're losing fitness. And let me tell you, this is a false myth. This is the ego just telling you that you are going to lose everything that you've done in the last 3 to 6 months. And that is not the truth entirely. It's just a mind game that your ego likes to play. We get restless. We have nervous energy and we don't know what to do with our bodies. Now, during the taper, it's important that you keep moving, doing active mobility, stretching, yoga. You can absolutely run, but you just want to back off on the volume. So, for instance, if you're doing a 60-mile training week, you might bump that down to 40 miles and then again to 30 miles and 20 miles and 10 miles, something like that. But hopefully you have a taper plan or a program that you're following that can actually distinguish that for you. Also during the taper, we start to get doubts about our preparation, whether, oh my gosh, are we ready? Did I do enough? Am I prepared? Am I going to survive? And this is where I really feel like you need to have a training log, not just your Strava, not just your training peaks, but an actual training log of what you've done in the last 3 to 6 months or however long you've been training for this race. And you can go back and review all of the mileage, all of the feelings, emotions, whatever. And you can really see that you are, in fact, absolutely prepared. So hopefully you've had a training journal this entire time and you can go back and review. And if it happens to be just on your Strava or your training peaks and you've got your numbers and your data, go back and review that and think of 1 or 2, 3 runs that really went well for you and maybe a few runs that didn't go so well and what you battled during that time and how you got yourself out of those holes. And that will really, really help to not only enforce the physicality, but also the mentality of running a distance like 100 miles. We also don't like disrupted routine during a taper. It just kind of messes with our mojo and we feel like we should be running because that's what we normally do. And again, this is totally a-okay. Everybody goes through this, including myself, but this is when you really need to find something, another hobby, another fun activity that's not high impact that you can do to help kind of ease the time, ease the nerves, and get your mind distracted from obsessing over this taper and am I ready for this race? Let's talk about the reasons why you should, in fact, taper. You're going to maximize your physical recovery. So stress plus rest equals growth. If you don't take the time to rest the body and the mind, you're going to be depleted once you get to your main event. It also helps us sharpen our mental focus. So having the time to kind of back off and create that relaxation and that space from heavy training volume really helps the mind become sharp as an ox. And you need your mind in a distance like 100 miler. Again, you need the physicality, but you also need to have a mental plan and you need your mental mind to be 110% on main event day. It's also going to help prevent overtraining and injury. And this is key. And this is so big. I see this all the time that people want to go out and do that last 50K, that last training run. And guess what happens? You just overtax your body, your muscles, and then it can lead to a potential injury. And that is not what you want in the weeks leading up to your big race. So taper is really important, and really take that into consideration as you go into the final month, the final 4 weeks as you prepare for Rio. If you have a comment or a question, leave it below and we will help you out.